Give me a D and a G. It's the Dawg and Gus Show. It's the Dawg and Gus Show.
Hey, coffee lovers, Dawg here to tell you about our favorite new brew, Green Army Coffee.
That's right, Dawg. Green Army Coffee isn't just delicious, it's coffee with a mission. They're veteran-owned, and every cup supports those who serve.
You can taste the dedication in every roast. Whether you're fueling up for the day or winding down, they've got the perfect blend for you.
And it's not just great coffee, it's a way to give back. Supporting Green Army Coffee means you're supporting our troops and their families.
So what are you waiting for? Grab a bag, sip smart, and support a great cause.
Check them out at www.greenarmycoffee.ca. Green Army Coffee, brewed for those who serve. Hey, Dawg, your beard's looking flickin' great, my man.
Thanks, Gus. I've been using the Bush Beard Wash.
The what now?
At Bush Beard, they know that every man with a beard is a unique beardo. And that's why they offer a wide range of products to cater to every beard's needs. Whether you have a long and luscious mane or prefer to keep it short and sharp, their products will help you achieve that perfect look.
From the nourishing beard oil and balm to the refreshing beard wash, their products are made with all-natural local ingredients to keep that beard healthy, soft, and lustrous. The beard comb and brush are designed to detangle and shape your beard, making sure you always look your best.
At Bush Beard, they're dedicated to providing the best possible grooming experience for all the beardos out there. So why settle for an average beard when you can have a glorious, well-groomed one? Try Bush Beard products today and unleash the full potential of your beard.
Be sure to use Dawg and Gus 10 and get 10% off your order.
Bush Beard, the small-town brand with the big old Canadian heart. Welcome to the Dawg and Gus Show.
Hey, what's up, Dawg?
Not much, Gus. You?
Not much. Excited about today's show?
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, what do we got going on?
We're going to talk to a couple of members of Kasador today.
Hey, guys.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having us on.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. This is fantastic. We've been following you for a little while, so we're appreciative of your time.
Yeah, right on. Thanks, guys.
So, Kasador, the name, obviously some members of the group were with a group before in 2012, and then in 2015, some things came together. Where did the name come from?
We all met in at school together. Like went to Queens, and the guy that he had a band. His name was Will Hunter. He had a band called the Will Hunter Band, and it was kind of just like a collaboration of his songs he wrote. Some people that came through, like friends, would play guitar, or play bass, or whatever. And we eventually all started jamming under that name, and then it kind of became more of like a stable band. We're all writing, and some people were singing. So we figured we should change it, and so Kasador is like an homage to the hunter name. It's kind of like the Spanish word Cazador for hunter, but it's sort of our own version. So kind of like our own word that we can make mean whatever we want, but it's sort of a shout out to how the band started.
Oh, cool. I like that.
Yeah,
Cool,
band names are hard too.
Yeah, we like legit almost broke up over a band name. It was
That's the only time the band's ever been like, what's happening now?
every time. Okay, every band name sounds so stupid until you establish it. Like even that name, like I was like, this is the dumbest name I've ever heard in my life when we started making it. And I was like, I can't be called this. Embarrassing to say, but now I like it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I just saw that Led Zeppelin doc too. And John Paul Jones, the bass player, was like, someone brought up the name Led Zeppelin and I hated it. I told them I hated it, but I couldn't come up with a better one. So that's the name.
I think it was Brian Jones from the Stones that said that at a party. They were talking about something, and he goes, "Well, that's going to go over like a Led Zeppelin," and it kind of came from that.
I've heard that.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, nice.
That's
nice.
cool. A little history lesson there.
You're
welcome.
Yeah, thank you. But it's
Learning
very
so much today.
It's very true, Cam. Like the name, you know, sometimes if you have like a weird name and then you make it huge, then everybody loves your name. But like at the beginning, it's kind of a weird thing to do. I would imagine it'd be really challenging to name a band and have 4 members that have to come together.
Yeah, you have to agree on it, and like there are so many bands out there because it has to sort of stand out. Ideally, you don't have the same band name as someone who's even like kind of minorly established. Has to sort of sound like the type of music you play. So it's hard. It's a tough thing to find, but Yeah, I remember because we played a release show where we announced the band name, and I was like embarrassed to be on stage to say the name.
And then you get a dead silence. What did they say the name is?
I was like, no. Yeah.
Cassiopeia?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I was like, wrong.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I mean, it's it's stuck with you guys. You guys are doing okay with it since. So, like, I guess you've gotten more okay with it.
For sure.
Yeah, we toy with the idea of changing because that guy, Will Hunter, who was the singer, no longer is in the band. And then we did like a bit of a soft rebrand sort of post-COVID, had a couple members leave and changed like not the entire version of the band, but it feels like a new band. So we did toy with the idea of changing it, but I just didn't want to go through that again. So.
Yep, fair. It's that fair.
Well, plus you'd already kind of built something with it too. So
yeah, I know. Like it felt like a waste. Like it's hard to establish a name. So
yeah, totally.
And like, how do you guys work about like if you got new members coming in? Like, I know we have a band here in Ottawa that's doing the same thing right now. They lost a couple of members. They're bringing members in, and they want to keep the same name, right?
Oh, yeah.
On your hat, actually.
Yeah, it's one on my hat. But
who's the band?
Taming Sorry.
Oh yeah, I know. Ginger Fox, right?
Yeah,
back in the day, we played with them like years and years ago.
Yeah, so they're going through the same thing that you guys went through. So they just announced today that they have a new lead guitar player. But I was talking with Warren, and he's going, "Yeah, we're not sure if we're going to keep our name or if we're going to come up with a new name because." And anyway, so I'm just kind of curious. Like,
would that be their second name? Like they went from
Taming Sorry.
Were they Ginger Fox before?
I'm not sure what they were before, but
okay, but yeah, it is tough because it's like you want to kind of feel like a new thing. But
okay,
sounds. It's all you can.
It's all me. Love that. But yeah, I know it's the whole band identity thing is interesting. I think idea to because when you write songs, the things that you want to say, how you present yourself is all sort of part of the equation when you're trying to present yourself to the world. Like your moves on stage, the type of guitars you use, all that like is sort of part of your brand and fully and obviously your name too is like a massive part of it. So it's scary.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, the other thing too is like I think trying to figure things out again as far as new members and maybe them having to learn songs, and you don't have to go through that. That process is probably seamless at times because you just show them the song and then they learn how to play it. But you guys have kind of a brand, right? So it's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, I think now like we just officially added a new guitar player, so we're like officially a 4-piece, and it's been good because in theory, like the way one of the reasons that I like bands versus like you have an artist that kind of has like a session players, whatever, is in theory like the Beatles or Rolling Stones, you go to see a band because you like how this guy plays guitar, or you like the bass lines of this, like like the type of bass he plays, his tone, and that I think is what makes a band interesting is you are invested in the sort of uniqueness of all of the members. And it's hard to have a consistent lineup for years to come, but that's what we're trying to do and trying to hone into that unique part of everyone that everyone brings. And on this last album as well, our new guitar player is on it, and I think he brings his own style to the guitar parts in a way that I wouldn't necessarily do it. So that's something that we think about as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Talk about the new single. Actually, we were kind of listening to it before we came in. So the Revolution number 10.
Yeah, Revolution number 10. We just did a little film festival this weekend. There's one in Kingston called the Kingston Canadian Film Festival, and there's a music video section of it where they pair you. If you apply, then they pair you with a production company. Then they put a bunch of them in. They show them at the theater, and then it's like adjudicated. So we had it for that. So we have a cool video coming up soon for that one on Thursday. But basically, the name is a sort of shout out to the Beatles song Revolution 9 and just the revolution like in general. Like they're obviously just Revolution itself, and the number 9 is kind of a follow up to that. Sort of a tongue in cheek way of saying like
you're the Beatles.
Everyone keeps that we're the Beatles. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you. That there's just like the idea like everyone's trying to do a new revolution, and there's like all these everyone keeps trying, keeps throwing things at the wall, and like time and time again there's always something to kind of keep fighting for. So it's sort of like a play on that, and I think it is politically charged in a way in terms of just kind of like the same thing that Revolution by the Beatles was on, like dictatorship and just sort of the
Greed.
falling apart of greed and falling apart of civilization a little bit, but in like sort of a modern way or a modern spin on it. So yeah,
that's cool. And you guys, I mean, videos are really important to your band because you've won awards for your videos. Like, what is the love of? Do you guys do film as well? Is that kind of where that love comes from, or do you just enjoy making really killer videos?
I'm bored. Maybe don't I?
Yeah, I dabble a little bit more in like the video editing, like visual media stuff with like photography and a little bit of videography stuff. But I think it's just like so inevitably entwined in a band's identity is like the visuals. How do they come across? Like what medium? And with music videos in particular, like they're definitely a different spot that they used to be. Right, like a music video won't directly make you money anymore. It's not getting played on much music. Budgets decrease significantly when that's the case. But we've always found them to be like a good in for us to have fun and kind of show people that we don't take ourselves too seriously. I think that is like an important side of who we are.
Yeah, I think also, I mean, just the arts world in general, like there's so much intersection between obviously music, video, dance, cinematography, all that. And we've been fortunate enough to meet a bunch of really cool people within the scene. And I think it pairs well and it combines with the message and it sort of builds up the whole art scene. Like when the one that we just did has like, I mean, I think we had like 70 extras and we had a makeup person, there was wardrobe, there was cinematographer, someone doing the storyboard. There was like a mini art department and stuff. And it's cool meeting everyone because they're all part of the scene and they maybe also play in a band as well, or they know someone who works at a label or whatever. Like it's all connected and it's cool to be a part of and kind of create something that people are passionate about.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It seems to be not just like Kingston based, but Ottawa as well. Because I hang out with when I go to the shows. Like you said, there's the guys in the bands. There's people there that you meet, and then you find out, oh, that person's an artist. This person's an author. This person, like, so the artsy people are kind of gravitate to these shows, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Ottawa's. I mean, I was born in Ottawa, and Steven was born and currently lives in Ottawa. So there's definitely a strong Ottawa connection there for us too. And like grew up going to shows at like Day Cuff and whatever Mavericks and all that. So being part of the scene is important to not only me, but I think the rest of the band as well. It's probably the closest. Yeah, it'd be the closest major city to us anyway. So I think even just for proximity and recently we talked about this a lot, how recently it seems like the Ottawa scene is just way more vibrant and supportive. Like a lot of other bands go to your shows. The scene is, I don't know, it seems thriving and supportive and the fans are hungry to listen to live music and see live shows. So it's been great.
Yeah, there's definitely a special thing going on there right now. Do you guys find that?
Yeah, totally.
I'm waiting to hear what he says.
Yeah, whatever he says,
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. No, it's we've talked about it a few times, like how we interviewed actually a band and they said that Ottawa reminds them of Seattle when the grunge scene started. And I was like, okay, like Soundgarden, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, like maybe those bands aren't quite here, but he was saying in a smaller form, it was just sort of, it's very everybody supports each other. It's kind of an unknown scene for outside of Ottawa and Kingston, and actually Hamilton's hearing about it now too, which is cool. But I agree. I think that it's actually since we started the podcast, especially like 3 years ago, it's been like we've noticed more people at shows and more people supporting each other and more bands popping up and more bands coming to Ottawa, which is fantastic. So I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's cool. Like we played the Rainbow a couple weeks ago, and yeah, like it was like sold out, and like everyone was like, I think that was maybe the show I was saying to Boris, where people were singing along the loudest. We have like some sing along sections or some part where it gets quiet, and like everyone was singing along, and just it seems like there's a real energy there that I don't I mean, I don't know. It has always been there. I'm not sure, but
No.
it feels like it's very tangible now, at least. So it's exciting.
That is awesome. Yeah.
I honestly thought he was going to say the scene has started to bloom here because of us.
Oh,
I was waiting for him to say that. It's been about 3 years. It seems to be,
totally. We're connecting everybody together.
That's right. It's
Dawg and
certainly
Gus.
us.
Yeah. No,
Music explosion.
I wanna say that I feel like we're a part of it, but I don't
Oh,
think,
for sure. Yeah.
but only in the medium of podcasting and getting it out there in different ways. But certainly not. No, it's the artists that are super talented that are showing everything, and you guys are obviously that too. So.
Like a fully fledged scene and people like, like things like doing podcasts just creates more of a buzz. And like, if it's interesting for people to listen to, then it'd be interesting for people to come to, like if there's a demand, then people will come. And I think creating that demand through things like other media is just important.
It's like a finely tuned ecosystem,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nicely said.
Soil nutrients have to grow the plants.
It's an ecosystem, man.
Revolution. Totally ecosystem.
Revolution. That's my circular glasses somewhere.
New species as well.
Get your circular glasses on there.
Let's go.
Lennon. Yeah, that'd be mint.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a
Perfect.
Be yourself, man.
totally.
That's what was going on at Queens about so long ago, and you guys were performing. I have to ask, how cool was it to hear your songs on the Hockey Night in Canada broadcasts?
Oh man, sick, Boris.
Well, as someone that before they wanted to be in a band, wanted to be a professional hockey player, and never
like
realized
boys,
those dreams. It's very cool. Like, it's actually like, I don't know if there's anything quite like it. I've never seen our music used for anything that got me that excited.
Yeah, never so like deeply passionate about stuff. Because I was growing up, like I'm a big Sens fan, and I remember watching the games and seeing like, I remember distinctly my parents' basement was watching a game, and there was a Colorado song that came on, and I was like, man, if I could just get a song on this, like it would be the coolest thing. I've always just wanted to be part of the Sens or be part of the organization or just part of that whole scene. Like just growing up, they're like my heroes, and I was so to be part of the like an NHL, especially on like for Team Canada. Not only is it in a time where I feel like we need it the most, but it was like a national broadcast. We were part of it. It was super cool.
Like having the song overlaid on like footage of like Crosby scoring the golden goal. It's like,
yeah, I was like,
yeah, that's it. You're done. You guys can stop touring now.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well,
yeah.
I'm gonna wrap it up.
So how did that come about? Like, you guys like did you put your song in to say, hey, we want to put this in, and did they choose a song? How did that go about?
We don't really know like the inner workings behind the scenes, but we had been in touch with the people from Sportsnet for about 4 months in the lead up to it, and it started as with a different song, using it for Hockey Night in Canada, not the Four Nations. Okay. And they started using one song, and then they started using another song, and then we released the one that they used for the Four Nations. And yeah, they're just kind of like constantly in touch. Hear from them every couple weeks or like month the past little bit, and they'll be like, hey, just a heads up, we're gonna use this song for this in like a week.
Yeah, he messaged like, I want to say for that one, like for an one, like 2 days before, he's like, I got an opening slot for like the main game. Do you want us to do that? I was like, yes.
Yeah, he's like, are you okay with that?
Is that even a question?
Yeah,
yeah. I was like, I don't know, man.
You know what? Give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
No,
I don't really want to do that.
No, I think that would be so exciting.
That's pretty freaking cool.
You manifested that, Cam. You manifested it when you were younger. You said, I put that out there, and there it is.
So the rest of the band can thank Cam for not being good enough to make the NHL, but good enough for his music to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's the best hockey player in the band?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Well, Boris is the goalie, so
he is.
Did that not make him a good player?
I don't know. I'm trying to think if we're like dangling on the outdoor rink at how good he'd be. Like, actually, I haven't played like full gear in a while.
Goalies are usually tremendous skaters and pretty good hands. So,
so listen,
Boris, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but you look like a goalie, man. Sorry. I played hockey I played a defense. I was a defenseman. I protected the goalie. I was a forward. I didn't protect the goalie. No, you went after the goalie.
I went after the goalie.
Yeah.
The other goalie,
I
though.
think I hear someone.
So here's what we're going to manifest here.
Over there.
We're going to manifest you guys playing at the Junos.
Ooh,
Because they have a hockey
sick.
game. When you get to the Junos, they have that hockey game that they have.
it's true.
You know, you get to
Oh,
play
yeah,
with the
the,
guy,
like,
you know,
the-
Blue Rodeo, and yep, you guys are going to make it there.
Yeah,
I know
Cuddy
it.
will have you on the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Take some
Yeah,
cheap
that's
shots.
where we
Wasn't
make our
wasn't
enemies.
Gordani a goalie? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get Boris in the corner. You know.
Yeah, that's it.
Um,
Feed him a few.
Wasn't Gordani a goalie too?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
Yeah, well, no, because anytime you can get him to talk with the tricycle hip, we're done.
I'll bring it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
he'll
sure.
bring it up every time he can.
I will.
Surprised he hasn't that you're from Kingston. Like, it's just, I was waiting.
Well, I sort of did subtly, but I won't bring it all up. I mean, you know, like these guys, they know who they are, and they probably
they
watched the documentary and went through all that too.
Mhm.
How was the
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin doc, by the way? I'm
It
interested.
was really good. I mean, I didn't want it to end, but I knew that going into it that it's like their inception. So when it got to the end and the credits started rolling, I was like, well, when does the next one come out? Like,
Yeah.
it was incredibly well done. I learned a lot. I never knew that Robert Plant was homeless before the band.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. He was like quite literally homeless. And they did their first ever show in, it was either like Norway or Denmark or Sweden, Finland. It was a Nordic country. And like they flew over to do their first show. And Robert Plant is like, yeah, they were bringing out silverware and stuff, which is, I would have normally been stealing that to get by.
Yeah.
And they were just like, they had it all out, all the food in front of us. Like, how could I not do this? It's crazy.
That is amazing. That is crazy. Imagine imagine you go from homeless to being the lead singer of Led Zeppelin. Like,
Great. Well, that's rock and roll, baby.
yeah, it's so
Sing.
cool.
And in his own words, baby. And John Bonham, who I think we all know is like a pretty crazy individual. But he initially wasn't going to join the band because his wife thought that Robert Plant was a bad influence. Which, if you pay attention to some of the events that happened later with that band, John Bonham may have been.
Was his own bad influence.
he was the bad influence.
He was his own bad influence.
Yeah.
So to hear that,
It
like,
didn't help with the bands they were hanging around with too, though.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
You know,
all the
those
time.
guys,
Yeah, I mean,
time.
it's anyway. You know,
those guys are crazy.
this is about you guys, not about Led
Yeah,
Zeppelin.
true. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
As much as we'd love to talk about them, but you guys are going on tour soon. You're gearing up for a tour, pretty serious one.
Mhm.
Yep. We've kind of been playing a bunch. Then we're flying out west. Our current way of doing things is we did it once, and that's soon to be twice. We basically fly into Vancouver. We rent like a little Dodge Caravan, and then Thomas, our guitar player, works at Long McQuaid, half price rentals. So then we rent like some amps, and then we fly with our guitars, and yeah, we just rip around playing a bunch of shows. We're gonna drive. We have a couple in BC. We basically go from Vancouver to Winnipeg over the course of like almost 2 weeks, and then fly back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you'd be excited for that.
Yeah. So the Rainbow, May 16th. Who's supporting you at that show? Can you say now, or
We don't have
We
the
have to
support
wait.
for that one.
Do we have support? Yeah,
Not at this point. So if you're hearing
Okay.
this,
Yeah, if you got any recommendations? Yeah.
You're-
lots.
we got a few.
Yeah, I bet you guys would have a lot.
yeah.
So that's good to know, actually. Yeah, that's good.
Well, we'll send you a couple options, maybe, and then you can reach out.
Cool,
So
yeah.
you can chat with them. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
What song was the most difficult for you to write?
Whoa.
I feel there are different ways, but there's one that's on our forthcoming EP that we actually like recorded in 2021 and we threw out because we could not live with it. And then we revisited it. So that one was really tough in the sense of like just getting the production correct on it. And getting to bring it to life in the right way. It's the only time that we've like ever truly failed doing that the first time and then had to throw it out and just eat the cost.
So definitely our third time doing it because we recorded it we did like a live off the floor thing that we kind of liked. Then we had a producer come in. We did like a legit recording of it. And then I think that's also the only time we actually like have thrown out like a legitimate recording of anything. Well, I guess we didn't throw it out. She came back, but because I mean, as any songwriter, you write a lot of songs. And the ones that go on the album are like, one in every 10 songs kind of you feel maybe is good enough to go on the album. So yeah, you have a lot of shelved songs, but that one we always thought there was like kind of something there, but we just were missing the mark. And I think our new guitar player helped a lot too. Kind of brought in a whole bunch of new, like he has some weird open tuning thing, and he has some cool parts on it. It kind of revitalized it, and so I guess that one, because that one's been on the go for like 3 or 4 years now.
That's cool. It's funny how you throw it away then, but then it kind of grows into being something that you like now,
Yeah, because the lyrics are the same. I didn't change the damn thing.
The lyrics are the same. The music, we just like, well, we re-recorded the whole thing, but
the chords are also the same too.
Yeah, but just it's better now.
Yeah, it's just different.
Do you think that has to do with the new guitarist? Maybe the sound is different, or?
Yeah, I didn't even really play guitar in that song. I think barely.
Yeah, I think it's like it hit, and he also had a new approach because we were coming at it from like, at a certain point, you just stop being able to be objective about something. You're too close to it.
Yeah.
So when you've recorded a song to completion, not only like, I think like the motivation to then sink a bunch of time back into it to then be like, I need to totally redo this song so that we can go record it again and potentially fail again. That is a little bit discouraging, but also just like you're too close to it. You need fresh ears. And the song is definitely also in this guitar player's wheelhouse. It's definitely like kind of Smashing Pumpkins-esque.
All right.
And that's something that he really excels at, anything in that world.
I pretty much written it off myself because I think just my like guitar playing style is, I don't know, it just is less like, I think his is more like harmonically focused, whereas mine is more like lead focus. And I think it needed what he could bring more than what I could bring, and I think it definitely helped a ton.
Even in studio, I was like, let's do this. And Cam and Steve, our drummer, who had also recorded on it before, were like, I don't know, this seems like a dark path to go down. And I was like, boys, with our new guitar player, Thomas,
trust in him.
He will change the song. So let's just go and play it for an hour with him and see what happens.
That's cool.
Yep.
It's very collaborative. I love that.
Well, it's good that you guys could say, recognize, yeah, you know what? This is what we needed.
Yeah.
This is why it hasn't worked until now, because we didn't have him.
It's funny. It seems like our songwriting process these days is we'll just kind of be jamming, and we'll jam for like an hour or two, and then all of us, I'll get bored. I'm like, all right, this is not going anywhere. And all of a sudden, like something will happen. Like I'll just sing a melody line, or Boris will do a bass, whatever. Someone will do something like a guitar part, and like immediately we're all kind of perk up, and we're like, okay, there's something here. Like we've been digging in the dirt for 2 hours, and like we finally found something. So let's go on that. And a bunch of our songs recently, that's kind of how we've been writing them. And I think that happened a bit there. Like we were jamming, and then I think it was like that bass line with his guitar part, and we're like, okay, we found something that was not here before.
That's awesome.
Sometimes just like blunt force, trying to move forward through it, and you eventually find it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dig deep enough.
So a question that kind of goes along the same lines is that, how would you guys describe your sound to somebody who hasn't heard your stuff before?
I would say, and I truly mean this in a way that is like, I'm not disrespecting modern music, but I think that with a lot of modern music,
please do. Sorry.
All right, yeah, I'll just go full honesty here,
freely, brother.
Boris loves this stuff, actually. Yeah. Don't let him tell you otherwise.
So music makes less money nowadays. It's harder to do it. So people start recording cheaper, and they start recording without an actual drummer. You get drum machines, you get drum simulators, like in all sorts of these programs. You can just like click a button and it'll come up with a drum beat for you. And we're not doing that. And none of it is like bedroom recording. It's all in a room with a band playing together. and trying to capture that, what makes it special live. Because we also like, we don't want to record something with like 6 guitars and 4 keyboards and like 3 didgeridoos and stuff. And then like live, we can't do it. And we're also not going to play to a backing track live. It's just not who we are. So we need it to come across live. So it's like finding that special energy in studio and capturing that. So I think that's a long-winded way of saying like, we sound like a band and we sound like music that you were hearing in like the 80s, 90s, and even 2000s, I would like to think.
Fair. Though, if you don't show up with a didgeridoo on May 16th, I'll be really pissed off.
All right. Gotta find a didgeridoo player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does Logan McQuaid have one?
Oh, likely.
Yeah, Thomas, I can half price rent a. Yeah.
Just kidding. No, but seriously.
I will freak out.
Yeah, I will freak out.
Oh, yeah.
I will not. I won't say a word.
So, yeah, he's not. He's talking big game. But
Yeah, I talk a big game, and that's it.
Who would you most like to collaborate with if you could think of anybody out there?
Yeah, like Alive or Dead, or are they currently?
Yeah, go ahead. Whoever it is.
That's so big. Holy crap! I mean, this is such a cop-out answer. I can't even say that. I mean, I'm just like a huge like initial Beatles fan, and I think I don't know, like working with Paul. I have to forget John Lennon a bunch, but I think like working with Paul McCartney would be, at least for me, like one of my really early influences. So I think just in terms of like the production style, the lyrics, and just kind of like what I feel like is such a integral part of like rock and roll music early that I really appreciate. So that is like a super lame answer, actually.
Nope.
No.
But I don't know.
He's like one of the goats, man.
I guess it's not lame. It's just like okay. Lame is the wrong word, but it's like standard or something, obvious.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
It's not a spicy answer.
Boris, give us spicy. Let's go.
Anybody, Boris. Yeah.
Boris. Okay, small side note. When we're in the car, he'll just start bringing up controversial things just to spice it up to keep us awake. So he's the spice king. Go ahead, Boris. Spice it up for us.
Ooh.
Don't let Cam down now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know how spicy this one is.
Little Beatles reference there.
But
yeah,
I think this one's cool. Do you guys know who Garth Richardson is?
That's so random.
No, I was following until you said Richardson.
He's a Canadian guy, and he produced the first Rage Against the Machine record.
Garth.
First Rage? Oh,
yeah.
Is that the guitar from the? Remember, there's a story about Tom Morello. Side note that he bought a guitar in Toronto for like $30, and he did the whole first album with it. Is he from Toronto?
I think he is from Toronto. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm on his.
And he's worked with a bunch of other people since. Some of which I'm a fan of, like Biffy Clyro is a pretty cool band. But I would love to work with him.
I don't know how to write that down.
Biffy Clyro. I'm going to write it down. I'll look it up later.
But yeah, awesome. I would love to work with him. I think I would just want to hear some stories about recording that Rage record. Because,
for sure,
I mean, legendary band, and that first record is such a unit.
So good.
Like,
it's a unit. Yeah.
10 songs, man. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, just knock your socks right off.
And the production on it is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it was almost before its time, right? Like it was sort of like you never heard anything like that, right? Like a hard band, and then have kind of almost like a lyricist, like not a lyricist, but like a hip hop artist almost as that helm, you know?
Yeah.
So I guess a lyricist, but it's different, you know. All the lead singers are lyricists, anyways. That's interesting. Very good answer. Spicy answer.
Thank you, Boris. Thanks for spicing up.
Spice level.
I feel pretty good about that spice.
Adequate spice.
Palatable, but I'm not pissed off.
There you go.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Burned your mouth a bit.
That was the 6th spice. Adequate spice.
Yeah.
Oh God! I knew you were going to do a spice.
Like a Spice Girls reference.
Oh, see, they got it. Took a little time.
That's pretty good, actually.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Adequate spice.
Adequate spice.
It's got a nice distinction to it.
I need to know why it's called the Butterflies Tour.
Oh, well, that song we're talking about is called Butterflies.
Yeah.
The one we have coming up, and it's sort of we have that artwork. I don't know if you've seen like the guy with the skeleton butterflies thing. I think that's going to be the EP or the first EP artwork for it. And the focus track from the EP is that song we're talking about that we recorded a couple times called Butterflies. And I think it also just even like artistically representative of like growth, which we have been doing a lot of thinking about since we kind of did that little rebrand. So
cool.
So yeah.
Very cool. I have a weird question that came to me. So hypothetically, you just robbed a bank. Okay.
Okay.
And you're in the getaway car.
Yep.
What song is playing?
Oh my God.
I'll give you mine just for example, okay?
Well, they're thinking.
Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress by the Hollies is playing for me when I'm driving away.
Okay.
I'll give you.
Like what Bad to the Bone.
There you go.
Or something like that. Is that even called that?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Sultans of Swing?
Yeah. Whoa.
That's solid.
Okay.
Boris, you just made best friends with Gus.
I'm a huge Dire Straits fan. I love the Dire Straits.
Yeah. And just to cap it off, mine would be Born to be Wild, Steppenwolf.
That's a good one.
Nice. That is good.
I can tell you something I wouldn't do if I had just robbed a bank, and that is go and rob a Denny's afterwards. Because we were in Buffalo, and we went to a Denny's essentially as the robber was leaving. He peeled out of the parking lot in front of us, and we walked in, and the server's crying because she'd just been held up at gunpoint.
What?
Yeah, and we were there after a show in Buffalo, and we're like, can we get a table for 6? And they sat us, and they served us. And then crime scene investigation came by and interviewed us, and we helped identify the car. And he had robbed a bank the day before.
Oh, I was going to say you'd robbed the bank and then got hungry. I'll take all the money and give me a...
And then you go just walk next door.
It's exhausting work for robbing a bank.
I need a moons over my hammy. Right?
Yeah.
It's like one grand slam to go.
That's it. Yeah. And all the money in the cash register. Yeah.
He legit took the cash register. Yeah. Because we try to pay cash. Like, we can't do cash. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Right. That's too funny. That's a great story.
Yeah. That's like crazy how that segued. I'm very happy about it.
Yes, this will keep it in production. We'll be fine. We won't edit this.
Yeah, no, God no.
We don't edit anything, guys.
No.
Oh, it's raw.
It all stays, no matter what you say. Tell us a little bit about your collaboration with Nambi. Is that how you pronounce it, Nambi or Nambi?
Nambi, yeah. Ottawa gal. How do we know her? I think she's like through Steven probably, but we've just been someone that we have met from. I know. Maybe you should speak to this.
We both played at a festival, and the festival was. I'm not going to name names of the festival, but it was really poorly run, and not a lot of people showed up to this festival.
Tell us off.
So we both played it, but we were playing the after party for the festival, and it was at a bar, not the festival grounds. And there were actually going to be a lot of people there. And we had heard that she had played earlier in the day at the festival, and she'd come down from Ottawa to do it. And we just knowing that how the actual festival had gone, we were like, hey, do you want to stick around in town and play this after party with us? To be honest, primarily because we felt bad about the whole situation of the festival. I didn't know her music. And then she started sound checking, and I was blown away. I was like, who is this person? Just floored. So ever since then, we've kind of been in touch, we get her to sing live with us whenever we can. And I just have kind of this other project that I'm very slowly picking away at on. I got her to sing a couple songs on it. It was really cool to be able to work on a Kasador song with her.
Nice.
Yeah, she's a great person. She's got, I think something we like to do as well is just get different perspectives, just get different backgrounds of music influences and a different kind of voice, and just do some writing and see where it takes us. and I find it always, I don't know, ends up somewhere really cool and to a place that we probably wouldn't have been able to get to on our own. So
Yeah,
we're excited
Cam
for
and
that.
I write a lot of songs, work on a lot of songs together, and past a certain number of songs, it's good to have like something to stir the drink. You know, you need
something else,
a little spark,
little spice,
some spice,
little
adequate spice.
Yeah.
A little adequate spice.
She's our adequate spice.
There. We might have to change the name though. I don't know what she call her adequate spice.
She'd be fine.
Yeah. You said she's Ottawa based?
Yes. Yep. Auto base. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
And I know with this song in particular that she was on, we had the music and we had verses written. And we had like a melody for a chorus, and we just texted it to her. And like we got the response in like half an hour, and it was like, what do you think of this chorus? And it was pretty close to what it ended up being.
Cool.
I'm like really bad at coming up with chorus ideas. So I'm a big verse guy, but she had a good chorus, so it was good. It was like, it always happens like I'll write a chorus and then that becomes the verse, and then we had to spend forever trying to find a chorus. So it was helpful.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Maybe she could join you on the 16th.
She probably will.
I think she might. Yeah. She might.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right.
So, where do you guys see yourself musically in 5 years in the perfect scenario?
Like what we sound like, or career
Career-wise,
positioning?
maybe.
Career-wise. I mean, I think just recently I feel pretty good about what we're kind of doing. It feels like we found a pretty unique sound to us. And so I kind of just want to keep growing on that. And I feel like the way we're presenting it is something that I feel proud about, and I feel like is true to ourselves, and a nice blend of all of our musical inspirations. So I think just keep honing in that to make better and better songs that feel more true to ourselves, and something that we can feel excited about, I think is my goal, like musically. And I think we've sort of gotten to a good point where I feel good about moving forward on.
Yeah, I think we have like a good approach now where we're not feeling burdened by like outside voices or expectations. And I feel like more than ever we know who we are. And I just hope in 5 years we can continue to be doing that and have fun creating music together. It's never been as much fun as it is now. So I think like as long as we can keep that going, we're winning.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are touring. You're doing Canada. Are you doing some of the States? Gus was saying.
You already did the States.
Did the States.
Yeah.
We
have done the States, yeah.
Do you have Buffalo.
Buffalo.
You're a Denny's. Yeah. Do you guys have a bucket list of somewhere you want to play?
We've never been overseas. We have I don't know how much more. I would like to go to Australia. I think that's something that is like a semi-reasonable goal for us in the next year. Or even like to the UK. We would talk about just Europe a bunch. I think just moving markets to other places that we haven't been before. One of my favorite parts of just playing in general, like obviously I think about, you think about the business side and where it'd be most like effective to go. But one of the reasons I'm in music in general is just, I like the lifestyle and being able to travel and enjoy cultures and meet different people and in different scenes. And I think that's something that really appeals to me. So I think getting to those places to play music like Europe and Australia to start would be ambitious, but I think reasonable next step for us.
Yeah.
Cool.
I agree. As long as it's not somewhere where we're doing like a multiple week tour in minus 40 degrees, I'll probably be pretty happy.
That's right.
Well, Australia's probably that. You're okay.
Probably not.
I think you'll be okay there.
Yeah.
I think so.
You might be okay.
Snakes and spiders.
Yeah, spiders and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy
Maybe you just invite Paul McCartney to go with you.
Yeah, Paul.
Paul,
I shouted you out on Dawg and Gus. You should come with.
Yeah, seriously, Paul. Yeah, come to Australia.
I'm gonna reach out to him.
Yeah,
see
sure.
if we can have him on the show.
Yeah, just so he'll ignore us.
Yeah,
exactly.
Why not? And while you're there, pick up a real didgeridoo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'll get a legit didgeridoo.
There you go.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is very true.
You can't really put that in your
I don't know, man. That'd be a great sound to have on a song.
Okay.
Just say it.
Put it through a bunch of guitar pedals, and we can make it work.
There you go. See?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll start experimenting. You never know.
You never know.
Yeah.
Well, if you like the Beatles, maybe they'll go through that phase.
That's true.
Yeah.
Get a Maserati.
The
Go to
didgeridoo is
India.
like, it's a reference to Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story.
Oh.
And when he starts losing his mind and he's getting like too extravagant, and he's like, we need an army of 5,000 didgeridoos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's in the cocaine stage or whatever he's
Yeah.
saying. He's like, you don't want any of this shit.
Oh yeah, it's not habit forming. Was
No,
it?
no, not at all.
Exactly, yeah.
Not at all.
Makes everything feel good. Anyways,
Yeah.
we won't go
I
into
think
that.
that
It's a great
movie kind
though.
of like killed music docs for like 5 years.
maybe. Well, they're coming back now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come back with a Weird Al one.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's true.
Apparently, that one's pretty good.
Yeah. What's the worst piece of advice someone gave you when you were starting as a musician?
Oh, my dad told me that bass players got all the chicks. What a lie.
How long did that take you to figure out that it was a lie?
It was like a year into
Ten.
Kasador, and I think it was at a show where someone like walked up to me and they were really into me, and they're like, wait, you're the guitar player, right? I was like, the bass guitar player, and she walked away.
Shot down.
Yeah, it's like, wow.
That's tough, man.
That's evil, man.
So,
Father.
It's evil.
proud of you for persevering. Oh, worst piece of advice. Oh man, I have to think about that.
That's a shame. Poor bass players.
It's not fair.
Nope.
Or it seems charming too. So
I know some pretty cool bass players. I don't know what these girls are talking about.
yeah, man.
I don't know.
You don't want that chick anyway, bro.
Yeah, man. Bad news.
You did at the time, but
Surely I must have given you some horrible advice.
Yeah, there you go.
I know I've gotten so much bad advice. I'm just trying to sift through some. I can't remember. Man, I don't remember. We'll
come
see
back to it.
deprived.
Yep.
In like 7 hours, I'm gonna message you guys something.
yeah.
Come back,
After
yeah.
you burn,
Oh, sure. After you've had a few.
birthday beverages,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, something good one.
Hey, Gus, did you get that text from?
No, I didn't get it. It was 2 a.m.
Yeah.
That's what yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
That would.
What about the best piece of advice, Cam?
There you go.
It's like a similar thing.
Well, it is, but as opposed to worst, it's the best.
I don't even know if this is like advice. It's just that's been giving me advice. Something that I think it's just this is like so cliche, but I think just the idea of like being yourself to the best you can be instead of doing something because someone else told you to do it or trying to be something to fit a mold that someone else wants you to be. Like if you don't believe in what you're doing or the way you act, like you're not going to be happy and you're not going to last. I think, I mean, I've always thought this, like the only way you can really fail in the music industry is if you quit. And I think you have to find ways that you can be happy and be proud of what you put forward. And it's really hard to do that unless you like who you are and what you're doing. So I think finding the person that you are that you like the most and showing that is not only, I think, the best way forward, like in terms of being something successful, but just for your own personal enjoyment and
Yeah.
perseverance. Yeah.
Someone gave
No, that's
us like a really good piece of advice once that was what is like hot or in the music industry is like a fly floating around the room. It's like path is non-linear and it makes no sense. And if you try and chase it, you will never get it. But if you just keep on your trajectory and just keep it rising and you keep having fun and you have longevity, there's somewhat of a chance that you might intersect with what the fly is or where that fly is. But like, you're better off to just focus on yourself and your own process and keep honing your craft and just hope that you intersect with that fly. And if you don't, at least you've been like building on something that makes you happy, but don't chase it.
no, it makes sense. Just like you said, just to be true to you.
It's life advice.
Yeah, it's good life advice.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good life advice.
It's very true. I mean,
and to be have it at
you
such a
too,
young
yeah.
age too, right? Like I think their guys are still in their 30s or late 20s. That's it's really solid to learn that now and understand that that's important.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I still haven't got it. I'm 60. I still don't.
I told him
I'm a slow learner.
Just organically build. We'll just organically build.
Hey,
a
we're all on
podcast.
our own path. Guys. Come on now.
Yeah. And everybody's passing me.
And then
No,
I'm just teasing. Man. I'm teasing. Come on.
you're here now, bro.
I am talking
You're
to
doing great.
Kasador.
You're doing
We're
great.
doing a beautiful thing here.
Yeah,
It's
talking
fantastic.
to Kasador.
That's right.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time when you thought about quitting music altogether?
No,
No.
I've never thought. No.
There have been like moments that have made me confront like, what will this look like moving forward? Should I like pivot? And essentially any time that question has been forced upon me, it has just reinforced how much I only want to do this.
Yeah, I think the same. I mean, like, sometimes you get resentful of like having no money, or like your stupid schedule, or like your sleep's all messed up, or you can't keep a relationship, or something like that. But I think, if I ever think hypothetically about not doing it, like it's just not an option for me. Like it's something that I feel like is part of my purpose and something I just love way too much, and it just drives me more than anything else. So I've never seriously thought about not doing it. Yeah.
Cool.
It's a beautiful thing, man.
Yep. Just keep doing it.
Well, just knowing that that's what you
Yep.
love to do, and you're doing it, and forget everything
Again,
else.
yeah.
Hyper focus.
At a young age too, which we're finding a lot more now that we talk to bands and stuff. It's amazing to see, because like I keep referencing myself. When I was 30, I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. So it's nice to see, people focused on that and just
Yeah, it's great.
eyes on what you want.
That's what you're supposed to do, but it's hard
Yeah.
to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding your path and where it feels like you feel like your purpose is or whatever is like, it's hard to find, like people will go their whole lives without finding it. So yeah.
You're gonna be a
Stuff.
podcaster, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
I believe in you, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. I have a question for you, sort of along the same lines as the stolen car, but it's a little it's not the same.
Oh,
No, it's not the same at
Yeah.
all.
you didn't
If you
steal a car. You didn't steal a car. You own the car.
No, okay. Oh, you own the car? That's
Anyway,
anyway. So if you could go back in time to any musical event that happened and witness it firsthand, where would you go?
oh man, I actually did look up. Okay.
Me and Boris, who shoot?
Oh wait, hold on. I'm pivoting.
Pivoting.
Another pivot.
Another pivot.
Come on,
There
bro.
was once. So yeah, Boris. Yeah, spicing up, Boris.
He's googling his favorite.
Googling something.
Well, it definitely would not be Woodstock 99.
Okay. Cross that off the list.
But maybe one of the first Woodstock. I feel like that's a stock answer. That's not spicy enough.
No, that's kind of boring, Boris. I'm not going to tell you that.
Well, think about this. You would see Jimi Hendrix do the Star Spangled Banner live, which would be like pretty wild.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
think
you could have seen some of the, the premiere, like the hymn, the band. There's a lot of different people that were there.
Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Okay,
Janis
I can get
Joplin.
spicy here. I've seen Dylan twice, and it's
Ooh.
two of my least favorite concerts ever.
Okay.
I really like him. Like, his recordings are great, but I resent his live show. It upsets me.
I think he does the whole, and he looks to the back of his guitar. Hello,
Yeah.
Buffalo.
where am I?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't really. I'm not a big Bob Dylan fan.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
could take him or leave him.
Amongst friends.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not like we're going to send this to Bob, and he's going to be really upset with you, Boris. But that's life.
think about this. If you were to pick all along the
think it was
Watchtower, would you want Bob Dylan's version or would you want Jimi Hendrix's version?
Yeah, it's not a question.
Yeah.
Right. But although
Exactly.
you give respect because Dylan wrote it, but I have to say, like, he's a tremendous writer. There's
Yeah.
no doubt.
Singer?
about that, but I didn't like his music that much.
All right, Cam, did you have enough time, or do we need to
I
come
think
back?
I have something here, guys.
All right, do it.
All right, Cam.
It could change when I think about this more, but I think when Elvis Presley first appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show.
There you go. That's a good one.
Do you want to hear a story about Elvis Presley?
I do, yeah. I do. Yeah.
So my mother is 83 years old, and she skipped school to see Elvis Presley play in Ottawa in the 50s, and her friend stole her father's pink Cadillac to take to the show.
No way.
Yeah.
Damn.
And my mom's badass.
And to make that even better is that Elvis only came to Canada twice. He never toured Europe.
One of them was Ottawa?
Yep. Yeah. He came to Ottawa, and I think maybe Toronto, but he never toured Europe. He never toured anywhere but the States and Canada, and he went to Canada twice. So,
really?
Yep.
Huh. That's crazy, actually.
Yeah.
But that's a good answer. I just love Elvis.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm a big fan.
I thought maybe you would have said the Caverns for when the Beatles first played, but
Oh yeah, I was thinking of some Beatles thing, like also Ed Sullivan thing, or maybe like one like Shea Stadium or like Cavern. Yeah, but I was like, I already did a Beatles thing, so
the Rooftop was basically their last performance.
Didn't the Sullivan Show not allow Elvis to be filmed from the waist down?
That's right.
Yeah. I've heard that.
Yeah, he wasn't. It was too
provocative.
It was too at the time. It was too, exactly. And you had the preacher saying that rock and roll was the devil's tool, and it was just it was just craziness. The devil's tool.
We know where the devil lives. Yeah, in between his legs.
And, that's it.
That big.
Yeah,
that big horn down there.
That big. That's why. What do you think Hound Dog's about?
That's right. There it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Cam, thank you.
I'm not going to blow that up by saying.
Good question.
Okay, so boys, we have a question we ask every person we've ever interviewed on 180 plus shows, and I'm still losing, but we're going to ask anyway. And you can't. We pick two decades of music that you have to choose one or the other. And it's not the 60s or 70s. So you get to choose from the 80s or the 90s.
In terms of like being a fan or existing in that time?
In terms of the music or whatever.
Preferred musical decade.
Yeah.
Some quick Googling.
Not even close for me. 90s would be like my favorite of all of them. And the 80s would debatably be my least favorite of all of them.
Fair enough. So
yeah, it would also be 90s for me, actually.
The 90s have such like a beautiful mix of like technological advances in terms of like the PA systems for a stage at a live show would have been so powerful, like way more powerful than 80s, 70s, 60s. But it also didn't reach a point where you had like inhuman performances or like too much auto tune or like a bunch of backing tracks. And like there was a lot of money in the industry. And I feel like the 90s in a lot of ways was like a peak before a very sharp downturn.
That's a very good answer.
That was a really good answer, yeah.
That's the wonderful thing about this question is you learn something new on every person's perspective.
Yep.
And I'm the 90s, he's the 80s. For me, the 90s, I kind of grew up in that era, and obviously the grunge scene, and like you said, I never thought about that, but you're right. That was like a peak time for PA systems, and remember the MTV Unplugs and stuff like those were so solid.
Yeah.
And I'm a big hip hop guy too, so the 90s hip hop scene was at its peak too. So I agree.
Even just like getting to know a band through media, like journalism. Obviously, it was like it didn't get invented in the 90s, but it would have been more widespread in the 90s.
Also, we're born in the 90s, so I feel like that's probably just like more integral to our like the first things that like we started listening to.
Because this is why we have to stop interviewing younger people, and I have to get 60-year-olds in here.
Yeah, but they'll never be able to use it.
I know. I'm just teasing. No, we both love it. There's parts of the 90s I love as well. It's just the 80s for me. Some of the bands like that's my era of growing up as a teenager, right? So that's my biggest influences was that. But the 60s and 70s, if you threw that in there, it can change completely.
True.
Yeah. So
maybe not for me, but definitely. I mean, 70s is amazing, 60s is amazing, but I always the 90s just like I don't know. I just liked it better.
Maybe 60s, early 2000s for me would probably be like
peak.
I think it's just because that's where like early 2000s was that age of like I'm in my early teens of it's like this is what maybe fall in love with like the idea of being in a band and rock music and like buying a guitar and learning these songs and how to play power chords and like just looking up to those kind of bands that were doing it then. And then, so I think that was just like really integral to me. And then I think the 60s, something about the music back then, I don't know, feels like really, I don't know. Well, something about it.
They had talent.
Well, there's this. Yeah. So there's the time where when the war was going on in Vietnam and stuff, and there was the period of Bill Murray just talked about this on Rogan actually, and he was saying how like Hunter S. Thompson said it perfectly, because it was when everybody sort of came together, even the military, and everybody understood that they were mad at the military people, but the military people were all drafted and it wasn't their choice, and da 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 da. And it just, and the beautiful San Francisco times, and just like, it was a very good melting pot of all the people came together musically. And it was also the art form that was the biggest poet, because the stories, the music they listened to when they were overseas in Vietnam was the same music you were listening to in California. It was just like they kind of brought it all together. That's like, I think that was where the 60s is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, thanks guys. Listen, we appreciate you spending an hour with us. Look forward to the show in May, and keep on keeping on, man. It's we're loving your stuff. So thank you again.
Keep on your
trajectory. Thanks so much for having us on,
thank
guys.
you guys.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. Just stay with us for a minute.
Dawg and Gus, Dawg and Gus, Dawg and Gus.